my channel. It's Chelsea, where we talk about all things glam and all things girly. I'm a beauty consultant who loves to talk about everything dealing with beauty and makeup, and today I got to share with y'all the products that I should have just left at the store. I should have never even picked them up, never ordered them, just left them. We're gonna talk about those today. So stay tuned for all of that. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I truly do appreciate it. And let's get right into this video. Jumping right in, we have the Artist Couture Supreme Mauves palette. This came out earlier this year and I was like, oh my gosh, the Supreme Nudes is still like a palette I will reach for. It was amazing when it came out a couple years ago and I was like, yes, this color story, it's going to be where it's at for me. And this color story is the only reason why I was like, let me keep reaching for it because maybe I can make it work. And I can, but the formula is just not there. The mattes are okay. I think the mattes honestly are the best eyeshadows in the palette, but the shimmers are just a little lackluster. The metallics are a little more chunky. They're not as smooth as they could be. And just thinking about the Supreme Nudes palette and then this one, I don't know if they wanted to switch up the formula, but for me, it just didn't hit the mark. Okay, this next one came out with a collection and I was like, oh, absolutely, yes. I need to get all the things from the collection because the people want to see, right? And girl, I should have left all this right on the website. Pat McGrath's Bridgerton collaboration part 2. Okay, first, let's start off with the blush and highlighter palette. Now, here's the thing. If Pat could just take these blushes and highlighters out of this packaging, she would be on to something because honestly, formula-wise, the formula is really amazing on these blushes. The highlighter is pretty too. It's a little more textured, but it blends out really nicely. And I like the like slight iridescence or like, not want to say metallic sheen, but it is a little like, it's a little more sparkly. There we go. But it actually is really beautiful. Beautiful. But because of this bulky packaging, it just sits as decor in my beauty space. Like I don't reach for it. As a matter of fact, I actually finished filming this video, got up, turned around, and I was like, oh, now I know I did not forget to talk about this. Because legitimately, guys, this has been sitting right back there, tucked away. Because I can't even store this anywhere like where I normally keep my makeup, and I know what Pat was doing. I really understand what she was doing. And when I first saw this, I was like, oh, this is cute. This is cute. Take us back to the times of Bridgerton. This type of packaging, maybe not like the cardboard, but like this type of packaging is probably what they use for cosmetics. But aesthetically, for like day-to-day makeup, things like that, this, first of all, does not fit Pat McGrath's brand. And then secondly, because of the packaging, like I really can't keep it anywhere within reach. So she was quickly forgot about. And then even more than the blush and highlighter palette were these shimmer powders, okay? I legitimately have not used them since I recorded the video. And that was what, like January, I think? These are like shimmer powders. I mean, that's one of the powders. I mean, it is pretty. Let's not take anything away from, you know, the shimmers, but it's like dusty, you know? And it's like, I'm not gonna use a puff, obviously, and I know I could use this on the face, but it just, the packaging just, I probably, you know what? I should have gotten one for a review's purpose. Because then I could have been like, you know what? I got one. We talked about it. I know I didn't need the other one. Because these weren't cheap either. I got 2. It's a little overzealous. Whoo, child. I should have just got the palette and left it there. Cute little eyeshadow palette from Mother Pat McGrath. This is her mini eyeshadow palette in Midnight Voyage. Now here's the thing, quality is amazing, but like, I don't like little palettes. I don't like them. I just don't reach for them. I think they get lost in like my drawers or in the collection, and it's like, I really only bought this because it was Pat McGrath. And I was like, well, you know, it could be good. And honestly, it was. But I have shades like this, and because I don't like little palettes, like, she just doesn't get picked up. I should have just taken that $25 and put it towards something else. Or if it was like $23, I don't remember the price. But even though it wasn't like an astronomical price, I should have just left that at the store. Okay, this is a kind of recent one. This is the Fenty Beauty Double Cheeked Up blush palette. And I just, it just doesn't do it for me. So these two shades are cream blushes, and this is what they look like. They are emollient, not really pigmented a lot. I mean, granted, blushes aren't always the most pigmented, but they do show well on the skin. And to me, when I put both of these on the cheeks, you really can't see too much of a difference. They are a little more emollient, so they do kind of wear quite quickly off the cheeks. And I was like, you know, no. This isn't even the same formula as the first cream blushes. I felt like that formula lasted a little longer on the cheeks because it wasn't as emollient. So for me, I'm gonna see, you know, one of my family members wants this because I'm not gonna ever use it again. Here's another one by Fenty Beauty. Now, I like this one, but I really didn't need to get it. This is the Sunstalker Face Plus Eye Bronzer Highlighter Palette. Y'all remember this? Came out earlier this year, and I was like really excited about this because I was like, oh, this is great. I can get the bronzer in, you know, a newer form because I've had the original bronzer since it came out, and I'm like, that one's kind of hard pan, so let me get a new one. And then I was like, and then I could try some of the darker bronzers. And although logically that made sense to me, I've used this a couple times, but that's about it. And the Fenty Beauty bronzer formula, I would really like for them to reformulate it and make it a little more creamy. Not cream, but just softer in texture, because I find that the formula kind of gets hard panned a little fast. So sometimes when applying it on top of your face, if it's not completely powdered down, it can get a little patchy. These shimmer shades are actually really nice, and I did enjoy them because I could wear this one as a highlight on the face, or I could, you know, use either one for eyeshadow. But in all honesty, did I need this? I did not. I really didn't. I've used it a few times, but you know, we could have left that at the store. And I'm just really having fun, guys. I hope you're all having fun too. And while we're at it, go ahead on and drop down in the comment section like 1 or 2 products that you were like, Chelsea, I should have never. I should have never, because I want to hear what you guys felt like was not worth your buy. Okay, the next 2 I don't even have anymore. That's how much I was like, I shouldn't have bought them. I just cannot. So the first one, I actually bought this during the Sephora Savings event. It was the new Guerlain eyeshadow quad. And I forgot the name of the quad, but I was like, oh, I've never tried their formula. And so I was like, let me pick up this new shade of A Color Story. And when I saw it, I should have known, like, Chelsea, you don't really tend to like all like shimmer-based eyeshadow quads or eyeshadow palettes. However, it reminded me so much of the Tom Ford Wet Dry formula, and that's what drew me in. I got the quad, I played around in it, and I was just like, okay, do I have a dud? Because this can't be what people are liking, is it? And I don't know if I had a dud or if the formula is just that lackluster, but I was so disappointed that I did take it back. I was like, I can't keep this, because if this is a dud, like, I'm never gonna use it. That quad is way too expensive just to be sitting and collecting dust. So I did take that back. So I'm gonna purchase a different Color Story, because I also didn't like, it wasn't that the Color Story was bad, but I was like, I'm not gonna reach for this quad and for this Color Story. And typically, even if I do reach outside of a palette for another shade, I like to be able to use a palette and that one palette for a one and done look. And I just was like, I don't see it with this one. So I did do a review. I think I hauled it. But you all never saw it. And it was because I was like, either this is a complete dud or this formula is just not worth it. And the other one was the Patrick Ta his, I forgot what the palette was called. I think it was called his Major Dimensions Blush Palette 2, Volume 2. That lighter palette, That one, like I said in my review, like I said in my Skip It, Get This video, that one was not made for people with deeper complexions. Like, I could wear all the blushes in the palette, blushes and highlighters, but I love the palette that he came out with last year that had the richer tones. And then 2, I did not like the glossier emollient formula of the cream blushes. I wish he would have stuck with the formula that he has previously used in his other blush palettes and duos. So that one, I already decluttered it. Like, you won't even see it in my declutter videos because I've already gotten rid of it. I was like, I can't use it. I'm just not even gonna keep it in my collection. And this one did not come out this year, but I believe this came out last year. Everybody raved about it, I remember. And I was gonna do a full face of my subscriber favorites. Well, I never got around to doing the video. And I remember when this palette came out, like, everyone was raving about it, but it was like something about it that made me not want to get it when it was popular. And I should have stuck to my guns and just chose another palette that you all were interested in, because when I tell you I've used this palette one time, this is the Vanity Makeup eyeshadow palette. Now, in theory, why would I not want to use it? It's got some beautiful neutral tones in it. We've got 6 shades of matte, 6 shades of like metallic shimmers. It's really beautiful. Packaging is great. I literally used this one time. That was it. And I was like, for some reason, this palette did not call to me, and I should have just listened to it, because it wasn't like every person who commented on my survey was like, get the Vanity Makeup eyeshadow palette. Everybody didn't do it. I should have just left it at the store. Like, this was such a waste of money. I'm gonna try to use it because I have it, but like, I can't even tell you why I don't want to use it. That's the worst part. I look at it and I just go, oh, this is nice. And then I close it and move on to another eyeshadow palette. I can't even tell you why I'm not drawn to it, but I'm not, and I don't use it. So I'm probably gonna see if my niece wants it. Like, I'm gonna declutter it because I'm just not gonna use it, and I really don't know why. Okay, another eyeshadow quad that did not come out this year, and it's not even a quad, it's a quint. Yeah, it's a quint. But I was feeling quite nostalgic because the quad that I wanted was like, I think this one was out of stock. Yeah, so it was this Chanel one that came out this year. I think this came out this year. This is the Le Ombre Multi-Effect Quadra eyeshadow in the Mediterranean color story. I think this came out this year. So I remember wanting this one. It was out of stock and I was afraid I had missed out. So I bought this other eyeshadow quad, and something told me to just be like, Chelsea, wait, because this is not really what you want. And I can be very impatient. And I was like, no. I feel like this will kind of like hold me over. This one by Chanel. So this is the Healthy Glow Natural Eyeshadow Palette in the Intense version. And although she's beautiful, I'm not gonna take anything from her. I think I've used her once, maybe once. First of all, I'm not drawn to the layout of the eyeshadow palettes. And sometimes the way that I am with my food, I am with my makeup. If it doesn't look appealing to me, if there's something about it that just makes me go like, I'm not gonna touch it. And I think this palette, just the way that the eyeshadows are laid out, I'm like, I wanna like this, but I kinda don't. And the actual eyeshadows are really pretty. Like, I'm looking at them now and I'm like, Chelsea, you could use this. So I'm gonna try to pull it out, but I really should have just left it at the store, been patient, and then waited for the Mediterranean palette to come back in stock, because that's the one that I really wanted. And that's the one I've used more than this one. Here's one. Nothing's wrong with the formula. The formula is great, but the color story is one that I have a million times over. And for that reason, I should have left it at the store. And this is one of Pat McGrath's newer quints, okay? So this is the Celestial Nirvana eyeshadow palette in Nude Allure. So this color story is nothing that I don't already have. We have one matte shade. The other one that she came out with, I actually do like. So this one is in Bronze Bliss, and although this has one matte in it, this is a color story that I don't have just over and over and over again. It's a little more neutral and cooler, whereas Nude Allure, girl, I got these shades all up and through all of my collection of eyeshadows. I should have left this one at the store, but I did want to do a review for you guys, and I felt like I should get both because, you know, people might want to see both. But if I were really buying it for myself, I probably just would have stuck with Bronze Bliss and left this one at the store. Then we have this Hourglass Ambient Lighting Palette. I have this butterfly one. I should have just I literally bought this one for review purposes because I felt like looking at it, I was like, I'm not gonna get a lot of use out of it, but you know, maybe people will want to see it. Of course I can wear the blushes, I can wear the highlighters, but like these three ambient powders here, I don't need all three of those. And even with these two blushes, on the skin, you can't really tell too much of a difference. Now this highlighter is stunning. So out of this whole palette, it's only one shade that I actually really like and that I would reach for. And I'm like, if I were just buying this for myself, I would have stuck with the Tiger palette and been done with it. I probably even would have left like this as an honorable mention. I probably would have left this elephant one at the store as well, because looking at it, I'm like, there's really only 3 shades I'm gonna use, and in all honesty, those are the 3 shades that I would use if I even reach for this one. I don't hardly reach for it, I just mainly reach for the Tiger one, but this one especially, honey child, I should just should have left that right at the store and been like, y'all, I'm gonna review these 2 and leave it at that. And then lastly, I have this palette. Now let me preface this by saying, I think this palette is amazing and it is stunning, and I'm very happy to have it. I just should have bought it later when I knew I would have time to enjoy it. The Tarte Man-Eater eyeshadow palette. So this palette, y'all, look at how pretty this eyeshadow palette is. Like, it screams autumn, it screams amazing, it screams colorful. I've heard amazing things about the formulation. I've actually used this a couple times. I've been very happy. It's extremely pigmented. But when I tell you I have not had time to play with her, y'all haven't even really seen it on my channel. I think I made an Instagram Reels and uploaded it here in a shorts form. But like, y'all haven't heard me talk about this palette. It is stunning, and I just feel horrible. I'm so sorry that I have not given it the proper love and attention and exposure on my channel. And I feel like if I would have just bought this like maybe now, while there's not really too much new makeup, and I could have, you know, had time to play with it, it wouldn't have sat and just collected dust. So I regret purchasing it, but only because I should have waited till like now to purchase it. And I mean, of course, I can obviously use it now. Like, it's not like I can't use it now, but I bought this palette almost 2 months ago, and it's just sat there for no reason. I'm like, I should have just waited, bought it a little later, and then I could have, you know, shown it the love and attention that it deserves. So I'm gonna obviously reach for this palette, but I wish I would have just waited to buy it. So let me know down below what are a couple of products that you bought this year and you were just like, absolutely waste of money, because I want to hear it. And don't forget, I do have a giveaway going on this channel. It's a huge Danessa Myricks giveaway. If you are looking for the video, it is day 1 of Chelsea's. That giveaway ends tomorrow, December the 8th at 11:59 p.m. So if you're interested in entering that giveaway, it's very simple. Check out that video. I'll have it linked up here. And guys, that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope to see you in my very next video. Bye, guys.